The Old Man, Chapter 5. Charlie stared at his cluttered room with a sigh. He knew he had to do his chores, but he had no real idea of where to even start. He picked up a random piece of clothing from the floor and took a sniff. He quickly wrinkled his nose in disgust. That one was dirty. He threw it in the hamper duly. It had been empty, despite its convenient location. As he went about his room, sniffing nearly every garment, the door creaked open, and the head of his sister poked in. "Charlie, could you— what are you doing?" Charlie stopped and peered over towards her. "I'm checking the laundry. For— change?" Winifred crossed her arms and shook her head at him. "You look like a monkey, sniffing all those. Maybe if you folded the clean clothes like Mommy showed you, you'd be able to tell them apart." "I suppose I should learn to just put them away," he sighed in defeat. "Let's not get too carried away," Winifred replied. "Anyway, I can't find Mrs. Fluffscuffles and her 6 baby bunnies. Have you seen them?" Charlie was reasonably confused, and it showed quite clearly on his face. "Who?" Winifred let out an annoyed huff as she rolled her eyes in frustration. "Mrs. Fluffscuffles. The rabbit great Aunt Cora got me for the Virgil Equinox last year." "Vernal equinox," Charlie corrected flatly. "Yeah, that," she replied. "And she had 6 little baby bunnies." "What makes you think I saw her?" Winifred looked about his room and shrugged as she delivered her witty retort. "By the look of this room, I would guess she took a vacation here to visit the dust bunnies." "Shut up," Charlie spat. His cheeks grew a little rosy from the witty remark. "I don't have your rabbits." "This is a tragedy," Winifred declared. She dramatically threw her hands up in the air. "Calm down. They have to be in the house somewhere, right?" "Charlie," she whined, "I can't finish my room without Mrs. Fluffscuffles, Poof Butt, Lemon Tickles, Key Lime, Marshmallow Delight, Sunshine Kisses, and Clyde." "What's the Clyde?" "It's of the utmost importance, Charlie. You have to help me find them. I promised they could sit on my bed this week. I can't finish cleaning or making my bed if I don't have them." Charlie dropped another shirt into the hamper and sighed. "Well, my mess is mostly clothes. I have to make my bed and vacuum. Give me a few minutes and I'll help you find Miss Fluff Mustache or whatever her name is." "Fluff Scuffles," Winifred corrected adamantly. However, as quickly as she had become angry, she smiled and ran to her brother to deliver an appreciative hug. "Thanks, Charlie. You're the best brother ever. I'll wait for you." She was a weird one sometimes, that Winifred. She had a lot more imagination than Charlie remembered himself having at that age. Then again, the imaginations of little boys and girls seemed quite different in and of itself. At least, that was his experience and what he supposed. Once he was finished and his hamper had been taken to the laundry room, Charlie returned upstairs and invited himself into Winifred's bedroom. He looked around at the toys strewn about. It was astounding. He hadn't realized how much she had amassed over the years. "Winifred!" She was quick to hop off her made bed. It was the only thing she had completed. She hurried over to him and tugged on his shirt. "Help me find them." "Oh, Winifred," he scolded, as he freed himself from her grip. "It looks like a tornado went through here." He picked up a plush elephant and held it out to her. "Just put this one on your bed and hurry up. I want to get to the carnival." "What? No!" she whined and slapped his hand. She grabbed the elephant from him. "Elliot got to sit on the bed last week. I promised Miss Fluffscuffles she and her babies could have the bed this week. Help me." "Okay, okay," he sighed, as he tried to tame her growing frustration. "What do you want me to do?" "Just help me look," she sighed. She went into one pile of toys and began to ruffle through them. Charlie began on the opposite side of the room. They looked everywhere. They went through Winifred's clothes, sorting through them as they went. Toys were picked up and set neatly in their places. Clothes were put in drawers and the hamper. The closet was reorganized. The rug was vacuumed to prevent painful kneeling, and nothing was left under the bed. Before long, Charlie flopped onto the floor and leaned back against the bed. Where was the last place you had the rabbits? Winifred tapped her chin as she dramatically thought. She closed one eye and stuck out her tongue. Winifred! I'm thinking, she insisted. She wandered aimlessly about the room before hopping onto her bed and pulling the stuffed rabbits out from under her pillows. They're right here. Charlie sucked in a breath and flailed his arms about. You knew where they were the whole time? She giggled. Yeah, I did. You lied to me to get me to clean your room. I did, she replied simply. You could have just asked, Winifred. You would have said no, she sighed. She set up the rabbits on her bed and gave an exaggerated curtsy. I swear, Winifred, if you weren't my sister. Charlie paused and grew a concerned expression across his face. Charlie? Why do you look like that? She followed his gaze and peered out of the window. Hey, there's someone in front of our yard. I see that, he replied. He peered down at the sidewalk just beyond the lawn. Who is that? Winifred asked. I don't know, Charlie muttered. He narrowed his eyes at the figure. Do you think he can see us? Winifred asked curiously. I don't know. A moment of silence passed between them before Charlie sucked in a shocked inhale. What? Winifred gasped. That's the guy we ran into yesterday. What? Why is he here? How did he know where we lived? He may have followed us, Charlie suggested. He paused and rubbed his chin thoughtfully, although he could just be there by coincidence. Coincidence? Winifred repeated. Yeah, Charlie confirmed. He was jogging yesterday. Maybe it just so happens he stopped right there to rest. Charlie, he's staring up at the house, she declared. He's just staring. He doesn't look tired to me. Maybe it's because our house is a pretty color, he suggested. Our house is yellow with green shutters, she grumbled. There are at least 6 houses in the neighborhood that look like that. Slowly, the siblings stepped away from the window. Charlie gave a bit of a shiver. He gives me the creeps. Maybe we should tell Mom and Dad, Winifred suggested. What are they going to do? Call the cops? Tell him to go away? Well, he hasn't done anything, and he's technically not on the property. He's on the sidewalk, Winifred. I mean, he's creepy and all. But I don't want to be rude either. Winifred gasped and brought her hands to her face. Oh my gosh! Charlie, do you think it's because we were naughty? What? He looked at her in confusion. Why do you say that? Dad said that naughty children would be taken away by a monster if they didn't obey their parents. Dad just said that to make you listen and scare you. But what if monsters are real? She insisted. It's not a monster, he replied quickly. It's just some old guy we don't know. I say that we tell Mom and Dad. Maybe we're just overreacting. I mean, what if he's new? Charlie, I'm disappointed. She sighed with a sad shake of her head. I'm only 8 years old. I'm supposed to be the naive one. Shut up, Charlie spat. Come on. They hurried down the stairs. Mom was dusting the mantel, humming a random tune as she went. She was startled at the sound of the children calling frantically. Mom! Mom! They called for her. They ran to her with loud thuds of their panicked footsteps. What's going on? She demanded. What have I told you two about running and horseplay in the house? Mom, listen! Winifred pleaded. Mom, the guy we ran into yesterday is in front of the house, Charlie explained quickly. He's just staring at the house. I think he can see into my room, Winifred added. What? She gasped. She peered outside, pulling back one of the drapes a little further. I don't see anyone there. The siblings rushed to the couch and peered over the back and out the window. Indeed, the strange man was gone. Where'd he go? Charlie muttered. Mom, he was there, Winifred insisted. I promise. He's a scary man, Mommy. There's nobody out there, Mom sighed with a hint of annoyance. I don't want to hear your excuses about getting out of your chores. But, Mom, he was there, Charlie defended. Well, if this man is a problem, then perhaps you shouldn't go to the carnival. Both of them went quiet and looked to one another in conflicted silence. Well, there are a lot of people at the carnival, right? Winifred asked. Yeah, Charlie replied nervously. I mean, most of the people there will know who we are, so he can't really do anything, right? I guess you're right, she said. There was a part of them that didn't believe a single word of it. Yet the other part tried hard to rationalize everything. They wanted to go to that carnival. Then that's the end of that, Mom concluded as she folded her arms. Now, did you two finish cleaning your rooms? Yes, they answered in unison. Hampers in the laundry room? Yes. Then fix yourself some sandwiches for lunch and clean up after yourself, she ordered, in that special mom way. I'll inspect your rooms. If I'm satisfied, then you can go ahead to the carnival. Yay! The siblings cheered. They gave each other high fives and hurried to the kitchen to hurry through their lunch.